Hi, I'm Juanita and welcome back to the Knit Guru. Today's all about my experiences crocheting in plush yarn. Now I have 3 different sorts of plush yarn because that's what I've been able to get my hands on over here. I'm in New Zealand for those people who do not know. This is Rosie's Cuddly. This here recommends a needle size of 5.5 to 8 millimeters. So that's all over the place. This one is my random Temu yarn, which came with no instructions, no anything, just no information whatsoever in this one. And this one here, which is Hobbie's Hunny Bunny. So let's have a look at what I can make with it, and then I'll catch you back at the end for my review. So here we go, magic loop, couple of rows in, working with my fluffy yarn. Now, it's hard to see the stitches, but it's better than white than in black, that's for sure. It comes together quite quickly, and so here I am sitting outside, crocheting away, having a great time. Now, the trouble comes when you have to frog this yarn, because it does leave bits behind, so you have to be really careful. And I did find that because it's a thick yarn and a small hook, you're having to concentrate. But look how cute his face is. I don't think I got the eye placement quite right. There's some little frogs in the yarn that I've just made little holes. Here's his little footsie. I did struggle with one of the feet, to be honest, just making the loops work and the magic loop on the bottom of the foot. There's all the pieces. It's a lot of pieces when you have to try and sew it together with the plush yarn. So crocheting it all together is the way to go, really. Let's be completely honest. But here we go. I've decided now, using this blunt needle and this wide-eyed needle to actually get the thick yarn through, and putting all the pieces together. He's a cute boy. I did stuff him, though. All right, so I've had a lot of time to try and work on this stuff, and I'll tell you what I've been thinking. First of all, I made these bees. Now the bees were made out of Temu yarn. Now the Temu yarn is fine. It's crocheted up fine. It's soft, but it's not too soft. It was difficult to work with because it's quite stiff. It doesn't have a pliability that I come to expect from using wool. And then in the Rosie's Cuddly, I've made this whale. I'll put the patterns in the link down below for this whale. This bee was just sort of free-handed because a lot of people make bees. This whale, I'll link the pattern in down below. This is the Rosie's Cuddly at the top, and there's some Temu yarn there at the bottom. It's fine. It was an absolute arse to work with. I ended up having to use a 7mm hook, 8mm hook. It was a big hook in order to even make this work. The stitches are quite well defined. It's got a good structure to it, but it's not the softest thing I've ever felt in my life. The Temu yarn here is not as nice as it is on the bee. And I think what it is because this is coming out as a flat circle. You can just feel every part of the texture, whereas when it's round, you're just feeling a little bit less of it all at once, or at least it's popping out a little bit more. Then this here is Harry the puppy from Hobbii yarn. This is with Hobbie's Hunny Bunny. Now the pattern called for the beige, the nougat, and the white. I also used some black because I wanted to make him into a beagle like my beautiful Rocky boy, but my crochet skills are just non-existent. There are some things about this pattern that I did change. It's meant to be a lovey, so he's not meant to have any guts, but I gave him some guts because I wanted him to make it. I wanted him to make him look a little bit more like the doofus dog that I have. This is very, very soft. My partner cannot walk past him without stroking him. Everybody touches his ears. Oh, he is lovely. However, what I would not do with this yarn is I would not be making anything for children, or at least very small children. And this is going to sound counterintuitive because this is a pattern for a lovey. So this is designed for a very small baby. Now, my reasoning behind this is that even though these are safety eyes, I wouldn't trust them with children because it's crochet. All of these gaps that you put the eyes through could still be pulled through. Yes, I could put another piece of plastic in behind, all of that nonsense. I would crochet eyes on for a very small child anyway, or this maybe for a 3-year-old. But I'm not making a lovey for a 3-year-old. That's just silly. It is not fire safe, and I've seen a lot of videos of how fast these go up in flames. Here in New Zealand, we do have different regulations about what you can and can't give to children, safety eyes for children under 3, all of that stuff. It's all quite strict and down the line. And I really do worry about fires. We heat things with fireplaces in winter around here. You see, you just can't stop touching this yarn. It would catch light very easily. The other thing I did with this pattern is I actually crocheted in the arms and the tail as I went. Because I'm an expert now. I've been crocheting for 9 months. I'm a crocheter. I sewed the ears on. It's much harder to sew the ears on. Now, with plush yarn, which is a giant pain, all of the bits of chenille that are around the center core can come off. So anytime you have to frog anything, or anytime that you have to try and stitch through something, you're weakening the structure. This one's a little bit stronger, but once you break that the center coil, it's just going to keep coming off. So my living room is covered in these plushy bits. They're everywhere. So when you're trying to stitch on the ears, this is really difficult to have it come on really neatly. So I would recommend that if you are using plush yarn, you do want one of those no-sew patterns, or to sew things up in a matching acrylic yarn. I would recommend Hobbii yarn over all of the others for several reasons. One, it's so soft. It worked out as being very similar in price of the Temu yarn and the Hobbii yarn when I got the Hobbii yarn on special. So you do want it on special, but the Hobbii yarn on special does go a long way. It's very nice to work with when it comes to plush yarn. I'm not rushing to buy any more plush yarn. I have a lot of it. I bought a lot of it. I have not used a lot of it because I don't like it. I don't like the mess. I don't like the fact I have to use such a big crochet hook, or if I do use a small crochet hook, I'm ripping the yarn apart. Maybe I just need more experience, but it's not my preference. I quite like working in wool. Would have been nice for a sheep to just walk past in the background, but no. You can't call on a sheep when you want one. So, in this Amiguru-May, what would I be my review? Temu yarn, it's fine if you're wanting to make tiny plushies that you are selling at a market, she says, dropping the bee on the ground. The Rosie's yarn, very similar to the Temu yarn. Yep, again, it's not that cheap. So I wouldn't be rushing to use it for plushies that you're selling in a market, but it does make things quite large quite quickly. So in that respect, it's quite good. If you're wanting something that's just soft and adorable, the Hobbii yarn is fantastic, but do remember, none of these are fire safe. They're going to catch up in flames very quickly if they get close to a flame. But if you do want something that's soft and you're not making it for a tiny child, yeah, the Hobbii Hunny Bunny is the way to go. All right. I will see you next week.